Hey, General, are you alright? You look like you've been standing too close to one of my shield generators. Whoa, claws out today, aren't they? General, need something? Sorry, guess I can't get my head out of the past. I moved around for a couple years. Working as a starship mechanic got me from place to place. I wasn't ready to settle down after the war. Bet you understand my restlessness. Though the war had ended, I couldn't find peace in anything. As long as I kept moving, I didn't have to think about what happened. Know what I mean? I'm sure you do. I decided I'd do something constructive. I wanted to make up for the things I'd done in the war. I wanted to design planetary shields, but there weren't many systems with the credits to spare. There was more that needed to be rebuilt and protected. I found out that Telos was going to be the flagship project for the Republic, and it sounded like something good. I saw Telos before the Sith raised it. It deserved a better fate. But Zerka ruined everything. I thought I could force Zerka out on my own, but I guess I can't fix everything myself. It's good to be working with you again, General. Something else I can help you with? That old thing? I built him when I was a kid. Been following me around for years now, despite what I've done to try and chase him off. Hey, just kidding. I'm happy to have you around. He helps me out with repairs. I outfitted him with a cutting laser and some other tools for delicate modifications. He's also good for singeing the pants of annoying techs. I've been thinking about doing some other work on him, but I barely have time. Too busy fixing up the ship. Something else I can help you with? If the Republic would just rein Zerka in, there'd be no problem. But as long as Zerka is allowed to undermine the Ithorians' efforts, Telos will remain dead. I can't take seeing my work being used by those bloodsuckers. But there's nothing I can do about it, so let's talk about something else. Something else I can help you with? I got tired of it. Kept dropping my hydro spanner. Figured I'd get a new one. I was only kidding. Actually, it was a souvenir from Malachor. I was lucky it was all I lost. But at least it gave me something to do, right? Everyone always said I was probably half the machine anyway. Something else I can help you with? Just working on the ship. I'm not sure who got her up and running, but I'm amazed she's even space-worthy. Whoever made these repairs doesn't think like most mechanics. But don't worry, I'll get everything in shape.
T3, you have been with us since Terrace. Without you, we would never have escaped that place. And for that, I thank you. I'm leaving this message inside you because I have seen glimpses of the future. And the bond that he and I share does not allow him to hide everything from me. More of his memories have returned, and they trouble him. He has remembered something. Something on the edge of the galaxy, and he believes that he must go there to end it. I am afraid for him. Afraid that he may not return. I need you to be the beacon, T3. If he is lost out there, on the edge of the galaxy, if he finds whatever terrible thing he has seen, then he may not survive. If he doesn't make it back, then I need you to return to the Republic. Find help. If you cannot find me, then seek out other Jedi. The Republic, I can't lose him, even if he believes he is protecting me.
Yes? Have you come with questions? Ask, and I will answer. Atris herself is not as familiar to me as perhaps she should be, yet I feel I know her, yes. Because Atris's path is one I walked long ago, and it is a chapter of my life that has been read and closed. She has taken the first steps, I think. We shall see. Surely you felt the righteous anger, the spoken judgments, the lack of forgiveness. I was a historian once, gathering the relics of the Jedi, learning the ancient mysteries. Always there were more questions. One quickly learns that the Jedi Code does not give all the answers. If you are to truly understand, then you will need the contrast, not adherence to a single idea. That is why Atris and the others blamed me, sentenced me. They believed me responsible for Revan's fall. You have already asked much. I do not wish to speak of this any longer. Ask, and I will answer. Ignorance. And perhaps they do not remember or care. It is of no consequence to me or to them. Am I? Then perhaps you should know. There are techniques in the Force where one can cloud the memory of others, make their presence so small as to be unnoticed. And on the worlds where we have encountered these Jedi, there is much life and death where sensing such things is difficult. As I said, it is of no consequence to me or to them. No, but if I did, you would never know. So my words only carry as much worth as you believe them to. But perhaps you will understand this, that perhaps it is important to me that you see me and my actions uncloaked. It is important that your judgments, whether be good or bad, stem from seeing me as I truly am. I did not ask you to trust me, only that you listen to what I have to tell you. But thank you. Ask, and I will answer. Nothing more than we already know, and anything else I know would be useless. There is danger in such knowledge, even if I was certain of the ones who hunt you. Ask, and I will answer. Does it matter? Of course it does. Such titles allow you to break the galaxy into light and dark, categorize it. Perhaps I am neither, and I hold both as what they are, pieces of a whole. Know that I am your teacher, and that is enough. What do you wish to hear? That I once believed in the code of the Jedi? That I felt the call of the Sith? That perhaps once I held the galaxy by its throat? That for every good work that I did, I brought equal harm upon the galaxy? That perhaps what the greatest of the Sith Lords knew of evil, they learned from me? What would it matter now? There is only so much comfort in knowing such things, and it is not who I am now. There are dark places in the galaxy where few tread, ancient centers of learning, of knowledge, but I did not walk alone. To be united by hatred is a fragile alliance at best. But my will was not law. There were disagreements, ambition, and hunger for power. There are techniques within the Force against which there is no defense. I was cast down, stripped of my power, exiled, suffered indignities and fell into darkness. Learn from me my mistakes and use that knowledge to become greater than I. That is all I ask of you, and that is all I desire. In you all my hopes rest for the future, for the Force. If it means so much to you, then this I swear to you upon my life, upon our lives, that when your training is complete, I will answer everything. There shall be no more shadows between us, only truth that exists between master and apprentice. Ask, and I will answer. I misspoke before, and I do not wish to choose my words unwisely again. Leave this be.
Something up? All right, what did you want to know? All right, but I'm out of credits, so it's Republic Senate rules. That's where we waste a lot of time trading cards and trying to beat each other. But in the end, nobody wins. Everybody loses, and nobody accomplishes anything. It's like stalemate, except the goal is to pass time until the audience gets bored and leaves. Something up? All right, but I'm out of... Something up? All right, what? Sounds good to me. I'll deal. Something up?
Sounds good to me.
Well, here we are. The Smuggler's Moon. It's the gaping maw of Nal Hutta, swallowing all the cargo and spaceport thugs the galaxy has to offer.
Mandalorians, mercenaries, war veterans, and pilots from the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War ended up on Nar Shaddaa, from all sides of the conflict. When the last war ended, there was no place left for them to go. Nar Shaddaa's a rough place and easy to get lost in. Or for someone to get lost. If we wanted to keep out of sight from the Sith for a while, you couldn't pick a better spot. It means glorious jewel in Huttese, but don't let that fool you. It's the central breeding grounds of the Hutts. Nar Shaddaa orbits it. Nal Hutta's as slimy as the Hutts. Lots of swamp and bloated gas. It's where those slugs reach out and grab chunks of the galaxy. Trust me, we're not gonna go anywhere near the place unless we want to be washing the stink out of our clothes for the next few years.
Anyone flying the Star Lanes has docked on Nar Shaddaa at least once. I wouldn't want to live there, and I doubt anyone does by choice.
Not everyone who came to Nar Shaddaa were soldiers. A lot of worlds were destroyed by the Mandalorians and the Jedi. Left a lot of people wandering the galaxy.
Anyone flying the Star...
Yeah, some came looking for work running freight and cargo. Still, there's only so many ships to go around and so many workers, so others lend their weapons to the Hutts in the exchange. It's become a prime base for raider recruitment across the galaxy. It won't be easy. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa. Finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in, or find you once you arrive. Shouldn't be too hard. There's so much traffic on Nar Shaddaa, finding anyone on the moon's surface is going to be hard. We're going to touch down in the refugee sector. There's a lot more traffic there, and it's harder for people to spot you coming in, or find you once you arrive. I've plotted a course for the refugee sector, and we should touch down within the hour. Once we're down, we should finally be able to breathe easy. There's no way anyone's going to find us here.
Perhaps you have heard that the Jedi comes to Nar Shaddaa. While she walks upon the smuggler's moon, she is not to be harmed. Observe her, track her, but do not eclipse her movements, or I shall eclipse yours. You must, because one Jedi attracts others. It is the way of things.
Tawachosimu poindorakawa ichirendumu paramakawa na abawasi. Yukroren wan mapusiti nolara.
Honto no saka, jita bedwana maticha, kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupa naret atamakcha.
Taranamosibu indasarans, crema sunkun ratungala, chawi mo jubu inkosoracha. Bo mababe wanto susintu mukarata. Tu es rectonatada per mabar chokto. Torenibu inturata sisi me burokra.
Request. If Goto's vessel is no longer neutral ground, inform us so that we might initiate assassination protocols and commence firing at once.
Kavadumpe masuraku pobayi potenya tachemorosa kamsa. Javasko bolsakja, michi sakara nokso. Mochito sasagrindio, kichu no kada mirenito. Renfiloso ni heku chupa naret atamakcha. Tahupo botenya bo juju picha, gwem tabani sochu, norotoga protola la shishi, jubato sajibacha, ratakmansan, tokosha na chitolo.
Observation. Jedi follow the self-destructive path of pacifism and tolerance. They will not attack first.
Doveri nincha, yonona shitasa chuch. Doveri nincha, yonona shitasa chuch. Goli rosodish, ranta kras mobas.
Ah, the beautiful stench and decay of desperate living.
This moon, it teems with life. It is difficult to center oneself.
Word of warning, watch where you step, or you'll fall for hours. Sure, most of the landing pads around here are unclaimed, or should be. They're pretty badly maintained, so they're not safe to land on. Well, I mean, not this one. But they all have the reputation, so we should be all right. I think. Maybe a little, but landing here means we didn't have to transmit our ID signature. You know what trouble that always brings. In fact, while we're here, we should get those signatures changed. Wouldn't make us such a target when we enter a new system.
No, but I forgot to tell them we were landing. The refugee sector's a dead zone. No one cares too much who flies in and out of here as long as they're not carrying cargo that the exchange or the Hutts might want a piece of. Yeah, in all its glory. Don't get your hopes up from what you see here, though. As soon as we hit the main sector, that's when the smell and the mobs can get pretty bad. All right then, let's move out. Where are we headed exactly?
It does not matter where we go. If what we seek is here, we shall come upon it in due time.
Yeah, if you want to stay on the ship and meditate some more, don't let us stop you. Alright, if you have any questions, just ask. We should be able to leave the ship here as long as we want. No one supervises these landing pads anymore.
You there!
Uh-oh.
What's with you? Letting that piece of junk sink its struts into my landing pad! Yeah? Well, it's the first I've heard of it. Tell you what, let me check it out. If you're cleared, then you're clear. No trouble. Well, don't let me hold you up then. I gotta tell you though, I got another one of your ships docking here within an hour. I'm not sure what to tell them.
Thanks for your help. They would have crippled me for sure. Well, they work for the Exchange, for a Quarren named Visquis. He's looking to step up in the Exchange. The only language the Exchange respects is money, so Visquis is trying to increase his profits by using the refugees here in Nar Shaddaa as a cheap labor force. We're only good to him as slaves and merchandise. He wants to keep us in one place, so he can control us. That's always been the way. Well, except lately. The Exchange has been clamping down on the refugee sector hard, and I've no idea why. They've started kidnapping people, hurting others, but there seems to be no reason to it. You don't. He comes to you. If he's got reason to. Either because you can help him out, or because you're making trouble. Either way, it's not a good thing. Whatever your reasons, thanks.
Spare a few credits, friend? All right. I don't know much beyond the refugee sector here, but I can share what I know. This sector's filled with refugees from the Jedi Civil War, and even as far back as the Mandalorian Wars. Refugees and war veterans both, and anyone else who was rendered homeless by the war. The Jedi destroyed planets across the galaxy, and here's where the wreckage ended up. A lot of space lanes cross at Nar Shaddaa, and once here, it's hard to move on. Even fighter pilots from the war can't get work at the docks. The freighter crews are full up. There's no work here and no way out, unless you want to become a hired muscle for the Exchange, or work in a Hutt slave camp. No, should I? He doesn't sound like a Hutt. What, is he a bounty hunter or an Exchange boss? Jedi Master? There aren't any Jedi Masters in the galaxy, let alone on Nar Shaddaa. This place is a cesspit, with the Exchange and the Hutts stabbing their claws into everything. But you know, I did hear something about a bounty on Jedi, though. Something the Exchange posted. Doesn't matter, though. Aren't any more Jedi around, so no one's going to be collecting that bounty. Not much to say, except it's a high price. You need to find a bounty hunter to get more, and they've been pretty scarce lately. You might have more luck trying to find someone connected to the exchange. And I don't mean some spaceport muscle, I mean someone connected. No idea. Could be one of them crossed the exchange, and they're looking for revenge on all of them. Well, they tend to lay low. To be honest, it's like with bounty hunters. You may need to do something to get their attention. Friend, you did promise some credits in exchange for information. Look, one other thing. It's obvious you're new around here. I can tell it just by looking at you. Now, Shaddaa can be a rough place and easy to get lost in. If you want, I can keep an ear out for you. Let you know if I hear anything. Life's been better, and every credit can go a long way. Just think it over.
I saw what you did to those exchange thugs, stranger. Can you spare a few credits, maybe help another refugee in need? Thank you, stranger.
Why did you do such a thing? Such kindnesses will mean nothing. His path is set. Giving him what he has not earned is like pouring sand into his hands. And would that be a kindness? What if by surviving another day he brings a greater darkness upon another? The Force binds all things. The slightest push, the smallest touch, sends echoes throughout life. Even an act of kindness may have more severe repercussions than you know or can see. By giving him something he has not earned, perhaps all you have helped him become is a target. Seeing another elevated often brings the eyes of others who suffer. And perhaps in the end, all you have wrought is more pain. And that is my lesson to you. Be careful of charity and kindness, lest you do more harm with open hands than with a clenched fist. Very well, but mind what I have said. Use your power, but in its proper place.
And what did she want?
Just answers to some questions. Asked about a Jedi Master of all things.
Really? Interesting.
Dia kada cemen se bengaru ruko todo. Tere wana jum konata devera kuno antuna. Dai rento ron kawre kare papanala ran singa. Tera che we meno toto rere sene senten. Charanana gundoso remina ke lorak to kuro katpada. Fioratore padano ringatel camarada te la fibo nubo da veterana cenirara.
Sulstan's hearing's pretty sharp, if you couldn't guess from the lobes.
Va te vaca reware, sumukun cere nurigrom. Mune dere riba con dosa. Varinkeshka punsa te lanzamenta tasa. Der inturunto wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsodara nane gra dall'onuta choloren. Do nerindisa gunit nasa farenzenta sanki feroastawe. Terasta ferenzeta nelanlan.
Big Ears here might know someone who can change the Ebon Hawk's ID signature. Could be useful for avoiding notice.
Tere wana jun konata della raguno antunna. Dai rinturun kawre kare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemenoto torere sene sensen. Tere wana jun konata della raguno antunna. Dai rinturun kawre kare papanala ranshinga. Terace wemenoto torere sene sensen. Der rinturun to wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsodara nane gra dall'onuta choloren. Charanana gundoso remina che l'orak de guru katpada. Fioratore padano ringatel camarada te la fibo nubo da veterana cenirara. Ona jun sene sensen drawice canel commercial ce la fibo non lot. Docent horrenteri. Gele resonto ceni rexi contunso des jun caratata. Der inturunto wakare kwe wapatera tanan cingaradana. Fera rampadano ringtada nel camera ce la fibo nubo dat. Dosene caramala blur insiderara mel rebe cincin cranactada.
Phew.